My homies, what is popping? So it's been a little while since we last chatted about the dev discussions, and I'm not really sure whose fault that is, but it's definitely not mine.
Oh, brother!
Intrepid said during their last live development update that this dev discussion was going to be talking about Quest. Now, we all have our own experiences with Quest, so I think it's pretty important that we all throw in our 2 cents. Really quick, just want to say thank you for showing love to your boy on the Mario Kart video. We have the charity stream coming up where you could win an Alpha 2 key. So if you want to participate, check out that video. I go into all the details. But besides that, let's lock in. All right, so boom, we're still running on ultra settings. Bro, I'm not gonna get over how gorgeous this is. I'm gonna keep it a stack with y'all. I think when I do these types of videos though, I'll probably end up focusing on something artisan. Like I will never do a caravan, obviously, or anything like that. But I think we're gonna keep it more low key. Maybe we can just go explore. Actually, I kind of like that idea, to be honest with you. Unironically, it would make sense to do quest. To be completely honest with you, I digress. Right, so last time we traveled on over here, we're a little outside of New Ayla. I'm still level 12. Honestly, guys, I'm probably not gonna hit 25. We have less than 2 months until phase 3, and we're getting a huge overhaul. So I think besides keeping up with like the updates, obviously getting on to still test some things out here and there, but nothing crazy. I'm not gonna go super try hard. Walk with me. We'll do some exploring and talking. Maybe this is a new series. Walking and talking with the bard that is hawking.
What?
What does that even mean? Walking and talking with Q. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, man, let's get on into the dev discussion. All right, so number 1, Intrepid says, on a scale of 1 through 5, how would you rate the current quest rewards in Alpha 2? 1 equals very poor, 5 equals excellent. Well, I think that we can start off and say that they aren't excellent. I think that's very fair to say. I think what people want to see is they want to be rewarded for their time. I think a lot of people are forgetting that it's like, yo, there is a lot of grinding that does go into Ashes of Creation. And then on top of that, when you talk about the BIS gear, how it needs to be grafted, there's a whole process for it. There's literally an entire process for it. I think what people want to see is just something that's gonna respect their time, give them something. What would benefit me, but benefit the game at the same time? Because obviously we can't get something legendary, especially from the quest that we're doing right now. Personally, I don't hate getting some glint. Honestly, I think that when you look at in terms of how Ashes is set up as well, when you're a citizen of a node, you have taxes to pay, there are things that come along with that. Everything is used for something. I am a fan of the glint. I think we could get more. While we're here, let's look at the commission board and let's see some of the rewards. I think that's the best way to go about it. Okay, so we're looking at it here. I mean, so glint, not a lot of 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 glint. And then whoa, I mean, that's not a lot of glint, but that's a lot of XP. Also, it's also level 25. And that's a question in here too. So, okay, so for me, I really just want more glint. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. I want more glint. It genuinely isn't easy to come across gold in Ashes. It's not easy to come across money. You gotta grind it out. I know people feel however they feel about caravans. I don't hate them. I actually enjoy them. I think you just have to do them at the right time. Or you just gotta be thugging with the right crew. That's just my personal opinion on it. I would say that these could be worked on for sure. You also need to, what is the amount of work being done for the reward, right? So destroy golems in the Riverlands. Okay, how many? I mean, and that's 8 bands. That's 8.5 bands of XP. Not a lot of glint though. But I mean, like, are you counting the drops that you're getting from the mobs? Probably not. Like I said, me just going off of what we're seeing right here, I mean, I think the glint could be up. The reason that I haven't done quests is because it's like, it's not worth my time. So boom, I'll give you an example. Phase 1, phase 2, I leveled in Carfin toward the end, and some of those mobs in there are giving a couple thousand XP per kill. Why do I care to do this? I'm not even trying to be funny. Look at the amount of glint. For what? It doesn't add up, and they were dropping more glint in there. So I think that if more XP was given, more glint, I could get behind it. Now we are not going to sit here and discredit some of the quests that you get early on. So when you talk about like the road to Jova, I think that was a phenomenal quest line. I think the issue that a lot of people had though was that it was like, all right, cool, well, I did this, and then some people were trying to do some other quests, but if you did certain quests, it locked you out of other quests. Like, that was just kind of whack. I know that's been a thing for like a super long time, but it's just kind of like no direct path on like what quest should be done. So I thought that was kind of whack. I think the road to Jova is a really good starting point. All right, cool. You pick up some quests, you do this, you go here, you kill this thing, blah, blah, blah. And I know a lot of people are a fan of like the easier ones too. All right, go here. As soon as you step here, you get 10,000 XP, right? But I think similar quests like that were really good, you know, and I feel like we really respected your time. And then I feel like most importantly too, is like it was early on. So we had a nice quest line that was early on that was kind of gonna give us those levels anyway, because you're gonna get them. If you play the game, like you're gonna get them. So it's really nice to just have those quests that are just kind of gonna shoot you up. Now, obviously, I know, like I said, people feel however they feel about weapons and stuff. I'm not really tripping on that in terms of like glint, you know, and XP. That's more so like what I would be focused on. If I'm gonna do a quest, that's kind of what I want to look at. We kind of actually already answered the second question as well. What's working well? What could be improved? I think what's working well, the quest lines, like the road to Jova. I want more of that. But I think what needs to be worked on again is nobody wants to sit here and do a ton of stuff and feel like they're not getting anything from it. In your opinion, what makes for engaging and fair quest rewards in a game like Ashes of Creation that features an economy-driven PvX system? What makes for fair what? That is like a tongue twister. What makes for fair quest rewards? Jeez. Fair quest rewards. Fair quest reward. That's really a tongue twister. Anyway, I think it all comes down to how much you're contributing. Your bro, these no way the Wizards are actually still at it. They lost their homie this time though. They lost one. They're still at it. Wow. I mean, hey man, power to them. It's a nice quest line. You know, maybe you get a couple, you know, 10,000 depending on how much you're doing. You know, I think right now with where we're at in Ashes, there's a really big focus on, or what it seems like there's a huge focus on like mob grinding. Bro, when you're level 20, 21, 22, like let's be honest guys, like what is 8K doing? When you need to get 2 million XP, like what is 8K doing? Like what are you trying to get your player base to do? You know, if you're trying to get them to go kill the golems, whatever, okay. Now, do we think we're giving out fair numbers? I think that should be a question that we can shoot back. Roughly, what percentage of your leveling experience do you feel should come from questing compared to other activities, grinding, gathering, events? Here's the thing. If you're level, I'll say 15 and up, and honestly, maybe I'm being too generous. If you're level 15 and up, all of your experience from 15 to 25 is coming from straight grinding, 1000%. In the off chance that you catch an event, sure, you might get a level or two from that. That's if you're around like when they spawn though. I don't want to sit here and say that 50% of your experience should come from questing. It sucks. I feel like it's kind of a loaded question because if you're like, oh, well, 75% of your experience can come from questing. Well, if that's the case, then that's not, Ashes isn't going to be Ashes. But at the same time, we don't want a grinding simulator. You know what I'm saying? I honestly think that like right now, it really does feel probably like 85 to 90% of leveling comes from grinding. Even if it was tuned just a bit, if there were more incentives to do quests, right? Again, even if it was like, yo, like you can get a lot of glint from doing quests, right? These quick, easy quests, then I think more people would want to do them. If you could get more experience from quests, I think people would want to do them. But I think that since neither of those things are true, no one's going to do them, especially at the later levels. Oh man, that really is tough because if you go with what they're saying, like less than 25%, 25 to 49%, 50 to 74%, or 75% or more. Honestly, I think if you're like 50% all the way to 100, I think then you get in territory for Ashes being like a solo simulator. I don't think you want that either. For the vision that Ashes has, I don't think it should be that much. I'm gonna be honest with you. There is a part of me that does enjoy grinding. I think a lot of people just don't want to keep doing it over and over. I feel like somewhere in the range of 25 to 49 on the lower end. So maybe around like 30-ish. I think I feel like I could be happy with that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's rough because I feel like you should be able to hit max level by questing. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm gonna sit here and say around like 30-ish%. Honestly, let me level Let's go to some dungeons. And honestly, maybe high 30s, low 40s. You let me know what you think. What helps you feel connected to a game world? And what could Ashes of Creation do to feel more immersive and dynamic? Wow, that's huge. If you have never played Ashes of Creation and you're a huge MMO player, you know, you're a fan, and you show this to someone, I really do think that they're doing a great job. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but I think a lot of this stuff comes down to the player base that you've cultivated. I really do. I can guarantee you, your top 3 MMO memories probably come from playing with friends, right? So when you want to talk about like being immersed and doing all of this stuff, it's like, yo, it's fun when you can do it with people, right? It's fun when you guys are slaying the dragon. I've done Firebrand a couple of times, and like that's just been cool, just to experience that entire thing. Like that's been really dope. You know what I'm saying? I love the dynamic changes that they've done. But I remember during the fighter showcase when they showed us the dynamic tents with the goblins and all that, I thought that was genius. And I want to see more stuff like that. And we saw that too with the story arcs, right? When we saw that, oh my gosh, that was 2 years ago, dude. When we saw it 2 freaking years ago, man. I think that they have a lot of good ideas, but I think that we just haven't been able to experience everything yet. We can sit here and tell you we want things to be more dynamic or more immersive, but we know we're about to get a huge overhaul with phase 3. All in all, I think if Ashes of Creation wants to fix questing, I really do think people would be happy with getting an appropriate amount of experience. Why is a quest or why is a commission giving me 8,000 experience at level 25? That's literally doing nothing for me. Mobs sometimes drop more glint than you're getting from the quest that they want you to hunt. So I think that if we can find a way to adjust it, to make it appropriate for the activity being done, I think that would be the best outcome. Because right now, I feel like we're doing a lot more work than we're actually getting paid for. It feels like we're in a phase 3 waiting room, at least to me, which is why I'm not tripping about some of these things getting worked on. You look at 2.5 and how they changed questing, and I thought it was a nice adjustment. We are going to get an overhaul in phase 3. Now, if phase 3 launches the same way 2.5 did, with something like questing not being addressed, then I'll be worried. But hey, what are your thoughts on questing in Ashes of Creation, and how can it be fixed? Let your boy know in the comment section below. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.